kind of squash?
Orange and medicated.
Medicated orange squash! We're having a party. So funny, what did you have? What did you drink on your Cocktails! Cocktails! I'm ad-libbing about cocktails, isn't that fun? So, I think we noticed a theme in our first half. The theme of mums was coming up a lot. International Women's Day, obviously we all have a mum, right? Unless you're lucky. She's not very lucky then, mum, is it? Sorry for that. Anyway, so I wanted to do another bit about my mum. I told her I was emceeing this gig and I've never done it before. I was like, oh mum, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to do? And she was like, oh, don't worry, Brooke, I've been thinking about material for you. I was like, oh, that's cute, but you got a couple of one-liners for me. She sends me a whole Google Doc, and it's 6 pages long. She has a whole Google Doc of material for me. I thought I'd just do a little excerpt for you. Bearing in mind I haven't done this live yet, this was literally sent to me the other day. So let's see what Mrs. Betty has to give for the comedy. All right. We begin. I don't ever want to get pregnant. I'm a child. Okay, even though, I am 20 and I could have given birth heaps by now and be like Vicky Pollard with her 7 pushchairs all in a row. Brackets, Google Little Britain. I'm never going to grow up and be ready to give birth. Because it hurts, right? Brackets, ask the audience. Does it hurt? Mums in the room, does it hurt?
It can, but it's worth it.
It can, but it's worth it. If my mum looked at me, I don't think she'd say it's worth it. The next bit. I trust my mum with my life. She's my rock. She tells me the truth about everything. Is she trying to manipulate me through my sets? No, darling, you haven't got spots. Brackets, she's Googling acne treatments. Of course I love your boyfriend. Hope he gets in a car accident tomorrow. Fucking hell. You'll go on to do great things in life. Brackets, look up and down at the stage and get a laugh that you're just doing comedy. Well, looks like I'll be applying for a refund on that Moonpig Mother's Day card that I just sent to her house. Comedy's a great thing to do. Mom! Just because you like head up hits the waitress. Mom! Sorry, clearly there's some mummy issues going on. That's right, you know it. Don't know what else to do for the first half. I'm just so excited to bring on the acts that I decided not to do material of my own. I was like, let's just bring them on. Should we just bring them on? Yeah! Alright, so the first act of our second half, please give them the warmest welcome. They have been in our society for a long time and we love them dearly. It is the one and only Hannah! I think this is an awkward time to say, I'm actually not in a stand-up society. No, I just get the pleasure of getting the good bits. If this is a good one, I can't do a fucking word again! Female rage. I'm the only comedian who matches their sets to their face. Mostly filler. The worst part is, that was part of the roast. That was said to me and I thought, you know what, I like it so much and I agree with it so much, I have gone on to get more filler so much. Like Joey G in the back, I asked to steal it and he very gracefully allowed me to do so. So that was not a joke really, more of a fact. What do you get if you cross an elephant with a rhino? Elephino, whoa! I went to the Magic Mike show on the West End. Yeah. I want a refund. I didn't perform a single magic trick. Anyway.
under section. Any Jews in the room?
Woo!
One. What's your last name?
Oh, it's not Jewish.
Wah, put the team down. But I'd say I'm quite Jewy. You look at me, you think, you money scrounger, you. Too far? Good, found the line. Yeah, I'm quite a Jewy lady. Don't know what that was. That's a Jew dance. But I don't think I look really clever. If you look at me intensely, you like that one, didn't you? You're welcome. I think if you look at me quite intensely, I don't look Jewish. My boyfriend's in the room, give me a wave. He also doesn't look very Jewish. He's not. That might be the reason. But I'm sort of the undercover, unsuspecting Jew, the opposite of the Gestapo, if you will. There's a lot of those jokes. You can strap yourself in. So me and Harvey went to Budapest, or Budapest if you're a wanker, and we went almost a year ago. Big Jewish presence in Budapest, right? But they're more of the Orthodox Jew. I'm more of the liberal fern Jew. Yeah, woo! I don't wear a top hat. Woo! But the plane was like infested with Jewish men that were all reading their Torahs, and I was like, this is fun, right? Harvey was like, fucking, he's got. Some of them had like little designs on their Torahs, and Harvey was like, fucking, why don't have like a camo print on their Torah? I was like, well, good, you thought I'm fucking 40 years too late, mate, to try and blend in. Anyway, this one woman, she was losing her shit. She was sat opposite me and Harvey on the plane, and she was whispering to her daughter. It wasn't a whisper, it was more of a shout. And she was like, those Jews, you never know what they're up to. And she like blew up's the wrong word on the plane. She shouted to the air stewardesses, she doesn't feel very safe. She thinks they're conspiring. And I felt a bit left out. I wanted in, just because I don't look the part. Doesn't mean I can't be in on all the Jewy secrets, but yeah, she had none of it, and the time came, the flight ended, as flights do end eventually. Me being an undercover Jew, she pulled me and my boyfriend aside and said, I feel safe with you guys. You felt wrong! She was like kind of like shielding herself between me and my 6'4" built as a brick shithouse fridge freezer boyfriend, and she was like, oh, they're not gonna get me, the Jews. And I thought, oh, do you know? You're the biggest Jew in the corner. I walked past a Jewish man. This is how I walk, apparently. And I turned to him and I said, Shabbat Shalom. It was Friday, I was feeling festive. And he thanked me, and she was astounded, she was shocked, she was horrified to be in the presence, breathing the same air as a big Jewy lady. I looked, she looked, as if I'd pulled down my little Jewy trousers and my little Jewy underwear and took a big hot Jewish shit on the floor of the aeroplane. She couldn't believe it. And Harvey is a man of very few words, if you know him. He's a man of very few words. She didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to say. I was like, I don't even fucking Delta bag facilities. What do I do? I punch her? What's the protocol? What's the plan of action? Harvey, being a 6'4" ginger Cockney English, went, Shalom, motherfucker! Who knew anti-Semitism could be fun? Not my nan. She's dead. Sorry, it took a turn, didn't it? Let's go on some more one-liners to end this whatever this was. Oh, there you go. I'm proud of my own jokes. I was surprised to learn that Boy George has a criminal record. I thought he was a man without conviction. No fair. I was with my daughter, Beth. I don't have a daughter, but I was with my daughter, Beth, and bumped into one of my friends, and she was like, what's Beth short for? Because she's only 3. I nearly took you out with that one. Oh, what's a DJ's favourite sauce? Marinara. I love that one. Said to my boyfriend, "Penny for your thoughts. Somehow I think I'm overpaid." My dad wrote that one. My last one. It's the first part is maybe the most unfunny one of the whole bunch. I went into Starbucks and I was like, "I'll have a croissant with chocolate." And he turns round and he's like, "What's that, mate? What's that?" Pain au chocolat. Do you like that one, Adam?
I do.
Thank you. I've been had the R&D with amazing.
It's really fun to be on the performing side of the stage for once, because some of you might know, some of you might not. I actually work at a place that, for legal reasons, is going to be called the Schmarlish Theatre. As a drama student, I take a little bit too much pride in telling people I work at a theatre. They're like, "Oh, do you have a part-time job then?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I work at the Marlow." And then people ask me what's going on there, and I have to use the collective pronoun. I'm like, "Oh yeah, we actually have," I can't think of any shows that are coming on here. Anyone know what shows are on at the Marlow scene?
Inspector Calls.
We have Inspector Calls. We don't have Funny Rabbit, but Sam's performing in it. You should go and watch. And Scott, there we are. Anyway, yeah. yeah, that's what happens when you... Moving on. So I work at the theatre, but obviously I do just work front of house. I like to think I'm bigger than that, but I'm not. During the pantomime, a little kid pointed at me and was like, "Hey, look, it's the ice cream lady." And I was like, "First of all, I'm non-binary, you prick. It's 2023. Second of all, yes, actually I am the ice cream lady. What can I do?" Yeah, it's fun to perform and not have to be the ones kind of like working in the theatre space, because audiences can be fucking... You guys are great, but I mean like the snobby Marlow audiences. Can I tell you some of the shit that they leave in the theatre when they leave? There's a list. We start off with normal things, right? A woolly hat. I can only imagine someone's ears are going to be quite chilly on the way home. Tickets. Car keys, which is quite funny because then they're banging on the automatic door like, "I've lost my car keys, I can't get home." And I'm like, "I don't care, get out." And sweet wrappers, which sounds annoying, but I actually quite like the little crunchy sound that they make when you step on them. It's not just stand up, it's also an impression show. We move on to the funny stuff. Someone left an empty bottle of wine under their seat, and I was like, "That's not allowed, but if you're going to bring your own alcohol in, at least bring more for me." And share the love, babes. American candy, it was unopened, so I took it home for myself. A blue raspberry elf bar, and a pack of cigarettes. Now, I like my Cancer acoustic, so I took those ones home. Pills that I do think were just painkillers, but it's panto, so obviously fair enough. And melted chocolate ice cream. Now, in my opinion, you can take that home and refreeze it, and it's basically the same thing, right? So I took it home for myself, and my pen's on the floor. You're amazing, thank you so much. Then we move on to the final section, which I call the hooligans. You know what I found after a show, after many shows at the theatre, guys? I found teddy bear ham. No packet, just the teddy bear shaped ham. I don't think ham comes in teddy bear shape normally. Half-eaten pizza, there was no box, like I said with the wine. At least share, guys, come on. A tampon, don't worry though, it wasn't used. A nappy, no comment. Pills that I think definitely were not painkillers. And I did take them home for myself. A toenail. You might be wondering, Brooke, how do you know it's a toenail and not just like a fingernail or something? I know because I tasted it. Alright. And finally, vomit. No punchline. Someone threw up in the theatre and didn't think it was worth mentioning. What the fuck kind of behaviour is that, Canterbury? We're going to bring on our next act. You've heard enough of me. Let's bring them on. I'm super excited. We've got another newcomer to the society, to the show. Are we ready? You know, actually, I'm going to single someone out. Who wants to be singled out? Okay, it's not going to be you, so put your hand up. Izzy,
Yes, love.
will you please stomp your feet? Can you? Can you please clap your hands? Can everyone else join in?
Thank you. You don't even know if I'm good or not. I'm like shit. That would be awkward, wouldn't it? But you might not be able to tell because you might not be able to understand me because I'm not from here. I'm from Yorkshire, West Yorkshire, Bradford. To be specific, but actually let's not be specific because it's not the nicest place. Kimberly Walsh is from Bradford. You know, girls are like, my mum taught a PE, true story. Well, I'm actually from Saltaire, so that's North Bradford, so I've not been stabbed. And it's a lovely place. It's a World Heritage Site. Yeah, it's got a river and a canal. Fuck you, Canterbury. Yeah, no, it's lovely. I had a lovely childhood. I loved school, primary school, went to primary school in Saltaire. No one talks about the versatility of the main hall in primary school, do they? One hall, so many uses. You know, you've got like assemblies in the main hall, you've got PE lessons, dinners, you know, you used to go to dinners, ate them in the main hall. Well, I did, I hope you did too, because if not, this set's not going to work. So we'll start with assemblies. Why did we have to sit on the floor for so long? Hours and hours cross-legged on the floor. And, you know, it was always these awards assemblies. We used to have awards assemblies on a Friday morning about 9:30. And your parents would come and they'd watch. And I don't know whether your teachers did this before, but my teachers, before, like the day before the awards, they'd come up to, like, your parents, like, just to let you know, Rachel might be getting an award tomorrow morning. Might be. It's like, they wouldn't tell you. It's like, so I'd turn up if I were you. I'd come and watch the assembly if I were you. And it's like, right. And I'm stood there like, Mum, can we go home? Do you know what I mean? Like, so like, anyway, so it was an award assembly. They were the longest. And I had this, you know, the ones where you get a certificate, a piece of paper for getting like 10 stickers for like washing your hands after using the toilet, I don't know. And it was this one awards assembly. It's Friday morning, yeah, like I said, and then God, my poor friend Charlotte Bell, that was her name. And oh God, what's she doing now? And she sat cross-legged, and Charlotte Bell wins an award, so Charlotte Bell stands up, but her legs have gone numb, so Charlotte Bell walks up to pick a piece of paper, and we're like, Charlotte Bell, this is a full school assembly, like reception to year 6, got parents in the back, like, is this girl? And I was thinking, is Charlotte Bell okay? Like, you know, I've never seen this behaviour from her before. You know, she's fine, she just had dead legs, so she hobbled up, got her waddle back down again, and you know, she's fine. But yeah, the issue with sitting on the floor though, oh God, flash. I look good at this. And the issue with sitting on the floor though is that there's food on it. Because, you know, there's like a piece of sweet corn on the floor, and it's like, you know, getting stuck up my bum, and I'm just like, oh, you know, unless you're year 6, and you get to sit on the benches at the back, don't you? Because you've got old knees by then. But no, PE lessons, they happened in the main hall as well, didn't they? Fucking hell. You think secondary school PE shit? Primary school just TIG and cross country, like literally. Don't tell my mum that, she is a PE teacher, so. But yeah, we'd often get changed in the classroom for PE in primary school. Don't know if anyone else would do. One time, we got changed on the stage in the main hall. So our main hall had a stage, yeah. And I'll give you the geography, is that the word? I don't know. But basically, we had the main hall with the stage, and then we had like classrooms around the edge of it as well. That's what our main hall looked like. And so we one time had to change on stage, like we were like presented in front of like I'm thinking what classrooms, and I'm naked, like well not naked, like little vest on. Or underwear as well. And I'm like, it's not right. Like 36-year-olds, 36-year-olds, not 36-year-olds. They weren't naked on the stage. Would not be an outstanding score. That was the case. Woo. Yeah, and I was like, that's weird. And one time, oh my god, another name drop, Luke Matthews, his name was, he's my neighbour, still my neighbour, lives across the road. He's so tall, every time you, not that I watch him leave the house, but like leaves the house, I'm like ducks under the door, and I'm like, oh, girl can dream. Like 6'5". Anyway, one time, Luke Matthews, right, we were really getting dressed in the morning and he forgot to put his underpants on. So like he's getting changed for PE and he's like pulls down his pants and his little he's hanging out and he's like, oh Luke, you got that pants on. And then another incident, same boy, Luke Matthews. This is somehow funny, right? He clearly forgot in the morning when he's getting dressed to take off his pyjamas. So he's getting changed for PE, he pulls off his school jumper and unleashes like his Power Rangers pyjamas underneath and I'm like, oh, you're an idiot. You know, like Superman like takes off his, what's it called, shirt and his, yeah, pyjamas underneath. But, yeah. And one thing also about your PE kit is obviously your footwear. You know, you've got to have the most appropriate footwear. That'd be those black Velcro pumps you get from Asda. Yeah, if you're indoors, or you go barefoot. Now, I'm not going barefoot in the main hall purely because of its versatility. Like I said, there's sweet corn on that floor. I'm not getting sweet corn. I refuse to have the contents of my school dinner stuck between my toes. Yeah, I've already got it on my arse. I'm not having it between my toes. But I've never had school dinner, I never had hot dinners. I was always a packed lunch. Can I go? Anyone else packed lunch? Yeah. Anyone school dinners? Yeah. Well, you didn't have a cool lunchbox like me, did you? Yeah, I'd have a ham sandwich, cheese string, fruit, chocolate biscuit, either a penguin, a club, mint club, that is the best. Shut up. Kit Kat, breakaway, a gold bar, white chocolate. Yeah, unfortunately. One time I had a pot pie, bit into that and my tooth fell out, I'm now a vegetarian. But the only time I was fortunate to have a packed lunch was when my lunch got stolen. Twice this happened. And not my lunch box. Like not my Hannah Montana pink and purple, like clean like lunch box. The contents of my lunch. It's only a ham sandwich. Someone's come in to the cloakroom and been like, oh, that one. Unzipped it and taken it. And my chocolate biscuit was still there. I was like, this kid's got it all wrong. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, eh. So when I had to go up to the, dog. I had to go up to the lunch lady and be like, oh, someone's stolen my lunch, miss. Do you know what I mean? And then they'd give me a dinner or whatever, but they're useless. The lunchtime supervisor. Lunchtime supervisor. That name is too, like, good for them. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're a dinner lady. And they'd clean the tables, whatever. But they wouldn't. They'd get the cloth and they'd just go onto the floor. And I'm thinking, yeah, Tracy, no wonder I've got sweet corn up my ass because you're fucking pushing it on the floor and not putting it in the bin. Tracy, you know, Janet, or Dawn. Did you have a Dawn? I had about 6 Dawns. But I don't know, it's a hard job because they weren't only the dinner ladies, they were like the, paramedics weren't they as well. Yeah. You've fallen over, you graze your knee, you've passed out because you've held your breath for too long, you've gone blue. A boy did that. Jake Thacker, another one. I kid you not, we were having a competition of who can hold their breath for the longest. He won. So, yeah, but obviously the obvious solution to any of these injuries is a wet paper towel. Yeah, like that agreement, thank you. They could just fix anything. One time my friend broke her arm, Izzy, and she was literally tears streaming down her face, and the dinner lady's like, not broken. Do you know what you need? A wet paper towel. Oh yeah, I'll get the bone back together. What, a wet paper towel on your fucking arm? If we went by that, what's the word? What is the word? Logic. Thank you. Went by that logic. God, the NHS would be fine. I've got headaches and nausea. Wet paper towel. I've got crippling anxiety and depression. Wet paper towel. I've got kidney failure. Wet paper towel. It's fine. But you know, they're just doing their jobs, aren't they? They did give me a school dinner once, you know, like when I got mine stolen, so like something battered, you know, sweet corn and peas. So I've had it up my arse, I've had it between my toes, and now I'm being forced to eat it. So that's the versatility of the men Holland Primary School for you. So. I've been Rachel, you've been great.
It's right, you guys are my favourite audience members. What I fucking love about that is that we all come from different parts of the country or the world, but we have all had the exact same experience. Everyone has had sweet corn in their toe. And when she said big bench, like, everyone got that. The bench at the back. No one has had an original experience, was the point, really. Before I bring on the next act, I'm going to carry on with the complaining, if that's all right. We have a teacher at uni, a professor who does stand-up comedy. He gave me some advice once. He was like, Brooke, you need to figure out why you're on stage and what you want to do on stage specifically. And immediately I was like, complain. I want to bitch, that's what I do. I bitch, that's my comedy. So continuing the bitching at the Smarlows Theatre where I work, where I don't actually do cool jobs, I just do the ice cream selling. We had this customer who got really pissed off once. She decided to take it out on me personally, like I had anything to do with it. She sat down, front row, she's very expensive seats, very fancy, but she runs out after about 5 minutes and she's screaming, she's like, oh my god, someone get me the manager, I'm fuming, and I was like, oh, okay, chill. And she said, I'm so angry, I'm so angry. We shouldn't go like that, it's not a cartoon. She was like, I'll get you and your damn dog too. She's pissed off basically, and I was like, right, what can I do for you? What's the problem? She was like, that show is too loud. I've got a headache, my ears hurt, I can't think straight. You need to get them to turn it down. The show's bloody started, what am I going to do? Run up and tell the actors to keep it down? What do you want me to do? She's like, no, it's too loud, I can't do it, I need a refund. I try and have some sympathy, right? But do you want to know what show she booked in to see?
Yes.
I mean, you don't have to. I just went on the next act. She had booked front row tickets for the opening night of the UK tour of We Will Rock You. We Will Rock It! And she said it was too loud. I was like, mate, you wanted to get rocked. They said they would rock. And they did indeed rock. I mean, that's like saying that you're ready for flu season and they're being pissed off that you got the flu. I know. Let's bring on the next act, shall we? Now, this act, I fucking love this person because they are constantly changing the way comedy is. It's like unique and special, and you're going to see why in a minute. I'm really excited. I hope you are too. Let's start stomping. Let's start the clapping. And let's bring it on.
Hi everyone, it's good to be here. I'm just going to move this over there. It's been bugging me all show. I'm just going to move that over there. So it's out of the way. There we go. Getting in the way of the PowerPoint. That's no good. Headlines. Here are the headlines. Purple. I have a perm. And I'm in a relationship. Thank you. But before I got into a relationship, I did try some virtual dating. Someone's moved my laptop screen. There we go. I did try virtual dating. Has anyone else tried virtual dating, online dating? Anyone? Yeah? What apps are we using?
Hinge.
Hinge? Yeah? Some of the classics? Anyone else? Bumble, lovely. The classics, right? Well, I met my partner on the most important of all of these apps, which is, of course, LinkedIn. Why are you joking? This isn't a funny bit. This is actually what happened. 1 month before I'm dating my significant other, we connected on LinkedIn. So there you go. Thank you to the dog. A lot of agreement there. But you know, I connected with my significant other on LinkedIn, and I then sent a message to one of my friends about the situation, looking for advice. Really, I'm not really good at this stuff. So what they responded with was this. They said, "What are you doing messaging me? You've got business to conduct." And oh boy, did I conduct some business. So I sent my now partner a Teams invite to a meeting to go out for coffee, and I wore like an outfit. I picked an outfit, you know, something like a shirt, collared shirt kind of thing, kind of pants. It's called the business casual. Some of you might have heard of it. So me and my partner, we go to this coffee shop, and I make them pay for their drink, obviously, but I do get them to fill out an expenses claims reimbursement form, because if there's one motto I live by, it's that all expenses should be covered. So anyway, we're in the coffee shop and we're talking for hours and hours and hours. And you know, we're just talking about, you know, random things like, you know, what you do, where you're from, what's your employment history, things like that. You know, really useful things. Yeah, it was just really flirty. And we come out of it, and my now partner turns to me and says, "So have I got the job?" And I'm like, "I can't believe this. You thought it was a job interview? What gave you that impression?" But they were the best candidate, so they are still in the role to this day. And today is actually the 6-month anniversary of when we met. So later tonight, I will be taking my partner home, and we will be doing our bi-yearly review. So there we go. But I did want to show a bit of other appreciation for people important in my life. I think that's what it's about, showing appreciation. And I want to show some appreciation for my parents, my lovely parents. My dad, I've talked about my dad before. For those of you who haven't seen my stand-up before, my dad is absolutely hilarious. And basically, I graduated last year. Yeah, I'm a graduate, and I know what you're thinking. Doesn't look young enough. And all I can say to that is, thank you. It's so kind. Thanks so much. It's really nice. Anyway, so I graduated, and my parents came to my graduation, and we went to take the obligatory photo. You know, the one where you're like standing in the middle, parents either side, they've got like their arms around you. Obligatory, right? And you know, we took that photo, and then my dad turned around and was like, "I think you should take one with me and then with your mum, just in case of divorce." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, is there something you want to tell me? Have I missed something here? Is there something you're keeping from me?" But you know, we did that, and my mum equally funny, but maybe not quite as intentionally. I'll tell you a bit of a story about my mum. So this was during lockdown. If you remember that thing that happened, yeah. So we're walking the dog, who we'll get to. But we were walking the dog, and my mum was walking past his house, and starts looking. I'm like, what is going on? And she turns around, and it's like, the people in this house, they've got the same shed as us. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I expect to like start keep walking, you know, like you do. Just noted, keep walking. And then I turn around, and she's gone, and she's like looking over the fence. She's like just looking over the fence at the thing, and I'm like, come away! What are you doing? It's not yours. Come on, Chef. The dog is so confused, and I thought nothing of it, and we walked home. Later, we were scrolling through those kind of residential group chats on Facebook, and we see this blurry CCTV like doorbell cam picture of what the person posting this claimed was an intruder casing the joint. It turns out no, it was just my mum looking at this fence, looking at this shed over this fence. And she had to message these people and explain that no, she wasn't a robber, no, she wasn't casing the joint. She was just looking because there was a shed. It was the same shed. I have no idea. I don't know if that's a funny story. I just thought it was worth telling. And the other person I'd like to show some appreciation for is of course my dog. It's my family dog, Eva. who is just honestly my favourite sibling. I do have a sister, so obviously she's my favourite sibling. So it's a really trying to show appreciation for all the women in my life, so my mum and my dog. So there we go. But with kind of all of that in mind, despite all the appreciation that I show for people that I care about, there's one thing that I can't avoid. It is, of course, arguments. Don't do the maths joke, they said. Don't do the maths joke. That was mathematical arguments. Don't do the maths jokes, they said. I should have listened to them. Don't do the maths jokes. Not the right crowd. Anyway, it's arguments, right? You can't avoid it. I've had arguments with my parents. I've had arguments with my significant other, which will be factoring into the bi-yearly review. And it's just unavoidable. And what I've attempted to do is try and find some logical way of measuring and navigating these kind of situations. And I turn to the thing that I turn to whenever there's a bit of a problem, which is, of course, I turned to a graph. So along here we're going to have sensibility and / ridiculousness, and on the y-axis here we're going to have intensity. And this is how you're going to measure your arguments and hopefully avoid the mistakes that I've made. So this is the graph essentially. So we can plot some points onto here of kind of some example arguments that I've had with things. So we'll start off fairly low intensity and quite sensible. Go and do the washing up. I'm really bad at that. So go and do the washing up. Really just very reasonable request. Going up. You ever wonder what goes through a cow's brain? It's a bit ridiculous, but it's still not quite intense, quite silly, a bit ridiculous. But can lead to an argument. You have something a bit more intense, stop leaving clothes on the floor. Also really bad at that, right? And had lots of very intense arguments about that. But of course you then end up in this area, which is, can you stop playing Pokemon while we're trying to make love? Very intense, completely absurd. So these are the kind of arguments you might find yourself experiencing. And I've decided to break them up into sort of zones here. So we have the friendly chat. That's fine. That's more of a polite suggestion. Absolutely lovely. One up from that, going into sort of the amber warning there, the safe zone of criticism. You're being criticised now. It's still safe. It's a safe space, but you're being criticised. Keep going, and you might say something you regret. It happens to all of us. You get heated in the moment, and you say something you didn't mean. If you do that, you might end up in a full-blown domestic. We're really getting into the warning territory here. This is dangerous and very difficult to navigate. And if you don't navigate it correctly, you'll end up you're not coming back from this zone, which just honestly, you're never coming back from it, quite frankly. You never want to end up here. So, these are sort of the areas that you might find yourself, and as you can see, it has a progression to it. You notice there's one area that is missing, and that is being drunk. It's just that whole quadrant is just being drunk. It's ridiculous and low intensity, just being drunk. So this is sort of my graph of how to measure your arguments. And I've also put a line on it. I do love a line on my graphs. And this is basically you want to stay below this line in order to have a happy and healthy relationship. Otherwise known as the y = -x line for those maths heads out there, which apparently there are none of you, because none of you got my maths jokes. But what you may know it as is the argument intensity to proportional insanity line. That's what it's more commonly known as. And basically, if you stay below that line, you will be fine. You'll be happy and lovely, and it'll be great. And I think, if I take all of this together, I think I can safely say that I have solved relationships using mathematics. Thanks very much. It's been fantastic.
Let's give it up for Tommy, who just solved relationships forever. None of you can ever have an have solved the day. It's saved the day. Now, I have to break it to you. I'm so sorry, guys, but we are on to our final act of the night. I know. I was going to say, can everybody give me a sad face? But we're in a cost of living crisis. I feel like our normal faces are sad faces. But I'm a drama student, so I need to revise, really. Are you ready? Am I sad or am I shitting? I don't know. Is everything alright?
Yeah.
The plant is so sad, it's our final act. It fainted. Look, it's so upset. It's so upset, it's our final act. It can't cope. Is the plant. Amazing! Alright, let's hope it stays that way. I'm going to bring you on your final act, guys, and I seriously need you to cheer louder than you have for the whole night so far, which is hard because you guys have been a really good audience. So express your sadness through the power of screaming and give it up for our final act. It is AJ!
How have you all been tonight? Have you all been enjoying your set so far? Yay! Can I just give a big shout out to our greatest fan here at Stand Up on the Stour, Arlo! I think he's a bit quiet now, but you know, he's done a lot of good cheering tonight. Can we all just give a good round of applause to that guy? Yeah, you've all been so lovely. I'm seeing a lot of new faces here. It's been lovely, welcoming. Thank you very much. I'm about to ruin this good environment that you guys have set up for me tonight. Now, I just want to say, as part of International Women's Day, I support all of women's rights and all of women's wrongs. Today is your free day, ladies. You can do whatever you want tonight. Now, a little bit about me. I am non-binary, which basically means that growing up at school, I fucking hated computer science. It's like the number 1010. I don't get it. What's the matter with that? You know what I think's wrong with the world, okay? I don't think we fucking hate enough, okay? Don't you just want to smash some shit? Do you want to just take some shit? Don't you want to commit tax fraud? No? Just me? Fuck! Okay. Right, well, in that case, today, I thought I'd give you all a little bit of inspiration because I don't think you guys are fucking awful enough, right? I think, right, you get enough people riled up as me, okay? I think you can really do a number on the House of Parliament if you really tried, okay? Fuck this voting shit, I think we should just burn it to the ground. So yeah, today I thought that I would talk to you about some of the things that I hate about this world. Number 10, myself. So recently, I got into a little bit of a fiasco, a little bit of a tiff with myself. You see, I accidentally lost my funny book. Now you might be wondering, what's a funny book? And you know, I get the little confusion, but basically my funny book is the things I write which I think are funny. So that basically means that it's just a bunch of schizo writing. But it's you know, it's nice, a little quirky. I got oh, no, wrong side. I got, as you can see, I've written funny book in it. That means it's a funny book, okay? That means everything written is in it is funny. However, I run into a problem. You see, I have undiagnosed ADHD. The only reason why it's undiagnosed is because every time I go to get it diagnosed, I forget about the appointment. But also, the thing about it is that I often forget a lot of things. You know, I'm often, you know, forgetting my appointments, I'm forgetting my phone. I'll get back to that. But yeah, I just fucking hate it, and I left it, right? I thought it was gone, gonzo. All of my year's work, all gone. Where was it? It was right here. The whole time, the place where I'm supposed to be funny. Second thing I hate, British railway politics. Now, from a young age, right, I was very invested in this scene, you know. I'd be sat at home, age 7 or 8, whatever the fuck, doesn't matter. And I'd be watching Thomas the Tank Engine, and I'd be thinking, are these trains unionised? You know, we didn't know what wage is Thomas really on. Is this Thomas and Friends, or is it more like Thomas and Slaves over here? You know, and what I did a little bit of digging as this 7-year-old child, and I realised, right, in the law, in the actual canonical law of Thomas the Tank Engine, Thomas is a strike breaker. Right, he crossed the fucking picket line. His first episode, Gordon and Percy, the cunt, are striking. And he starts working there like the fucking strike breaker picket line cunt he is. It's not fair. Fuck Thomas. That's very important. But the third thing that I'd like to say that I hate is the current cost of living crisis. And I think you can all agree with me, right? Yeah? Yeah. Why aren't we doing more about that, right? You know, I was trying to, the other day, I was trying to buy my veggies. I was being a really healthy student. I was going to try and buy my veggies. Do you know what do you know what I saw in the store?
Tell me.
No veggies! How can you get by without veggies? I don't get it. You need veggies, right? Yeah, you get me. You get me. I need veggies to live. And there were no veggies. What the fuck is up with that? So the fourth thing I hate is I hate the British. Last year I had this very interesting neighbour called Tony the Twat. And, oh god, cheers. Does anyone know any Tonys?
Yeah.
Oh, my housemate, nice. But yeah, so this Tony the Twat, he was a real cunt, right? So, you know, he was like the big things that you expect from British people, you know, he was homophobic, he was racist, he was British, but he had this gigantic, enormous stick up his arse, and this is going to become really important later. So, basically, me and my friends, we were up past our little beddy buys at like 9 o'clock, and we were getting a little bit smashed. And so, you know, we're like playing a little bit of music, you know, we're just chatting up on ourselves, and so that is when Tony decides to start finger fucking the doorbell 10,000 times. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. And so we're all like, James, can you hear that? Sorry, you're gonna have to speak up, the doorbell's too loud! And so that wasn't a great introduction to knowing Tony. Now, a week later or so, we noticed something very interesting in the garden. That's a couple of workers. And you see, what Tony had done is he had built, right next to our fence, another fence that was approximately 16.5 inches taller than our previous fence. And the weird thing about this was they didn't replace the other fence. They just built it about 6 inches away from our old fence. So we had this area now of no man's land where no one controlled. Like, I know he hated us, but I didn't expect him to turn it into the fucking Somme over there. You know, it's like, okay, I guess that's the first stage of war. But it was all right because I actually quite enjoyed it because sometimes I'd like pretending I was in Attack on Titan, and so his kids playing ball in their garden, and they just see this like large 6'3" person go, oh, sha-da-da, da-da. So I have a restraining order. But it's so weird, like, why would you live right next to student accommodation? It doesn't make any sense. You know what you're going to get when you buy the house, so why would you complain at 9 in the fucking evening? It doesn't make any fucking sense! That's blank, that's not useful. Am I illiterate? Experiment with accents. Right, so I'm from this little place called Somerset, and you know, it's quite remote, you see. You know, there's only about one bus that travels every week, and a lot of people don't really believe me when they go and visit me in Somerset, but then they realise that the old off licence, it only sells bread. There's no alcohol. We make our own alcohol in Somerset, you see. You know, you got your cider apples in the garden, basically. What's the point of buying this overpriced Whitstable Pale Ale lager? There's no point to it. 3 for 10, by the way. Oh yeah, things I hate. Somerset. I fucking hate Somerset, right? No buses. They're all a fucking bunch of racists, and their politics sucks, right? Okay, so the local council elections were going on, and there were these three contenders, right? So we had Ted, this white guy in jeans, jumper, and a polo shirt. Now, we also had Ted, who was in corduroy trousers, a jumper, and a polo shirt. And we had Brian knocking the competition out, right? With jeans, a polo shirt, and no jumper. Right, I know, right? Yeah, he lost. He was too radical for us. But yeah, back on the topic of hate. I hate my course. You see, I do drama and history, right? Which means that in my course, I often come across a lot of men. And for the purpose of this set, men is used as a derogatory term. And so these military history students, they love talking about the brutality of war. I mean, just look at the rivets on that Panzer 7 4-2 cunts. So much better than the Panzer 7 /428 wallaby cunt smasher. They think it destroyed the liberal agenda from 2 miles away. And, you know, they just love talking about the brutality of war, you know. They want to know how many people died, what volume they died in, and then masturbate to the thought of it. So, yeah, one thing to take away is don't be from Somerset, don't be British, don't do military history, don't talk to me, I'll probably hate you, and I don't like fences. I've been James, thank you very much.
Celebrating International Women's Day with you all, and of course fundraising for charity. Thank you to anyone who donated tonight, and like I said, there will be a bucket at the end if you've got little pennies sitting at the bottom of your pocket, which I know are pissing you off, so you might as well get rid of them and donate them to charity. I want to say thank you to the audience for coming tonight. Thank you, all of you. Yeah, give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you to the Mooring Cafe and Bar for hosting us. Give up all of the bartenders. And let's do one big round of applause. And I'm going to get the order right because I like things chronologically. So let's give it up